What's going on, guys? Noe from RGV Lowriders. First of all, thank you for tuning in. I hope you watched the video to the end. It's got a lot of information on how RGV Lowriders started, who started what, who did what. The purpose of this video is pretty much just to give out the truth. I'm not gonna give my opinion on anything. I try not to, at least. I just want to give a true account of how RGV Lowrider really started. I've actually been debating on doing this for a good while now. Earlier in the year, as some of you know, there was a split amongst RGV Lowriders, and there was a video put out that had a lot of misinformation. And one of the main things is, quote unquote, the origins of RGV Lowriders. What was said in the video was not true. Like I said, the purpose of this video is just to give the truth. I don't gain anything from this. Another thing is, I'm not trying to divide anybody. Here in the RGV, we're the only lowrider scene that we have. And lately it seems like it's been picking up, which is cool to see. I try to be out there as much as I can. Just my work schedule, my hours, and sometimes it doesn't cooperate, but I still try to find time to go out. Like I said, the purpose of this video pretty much is just to give the truth and just a background of how RGV Lowriders started and who started what. So to start it off, basically, how did RGV Lowriders start? It started out as a website. And a lot of people don't really know that there was a website before there was Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. There was a website called rgvlowriders.proboards51.com, and the way that got started was back then, around that time, maybe about 2 years before I started the website, I had been showing my bike. I had built another bike in the early 2000s. I was showing it here and there, but there was nothing. There was no social media at the time, so it was kind of hard to find shows. So what I started doing was would search RGV car shows, RGV lowriders, stuff like that, because I grew up liking lowriders, and there was really nothing out there. So when I was doing that, I did find some other websites. There was RGV Trucks, which is still around, RGV Euros, RGV Domestics, RGV Imports, RGV Sports Cars. And they all pretty much had this similar design. So I started messaging these guys, the administrators of these websites, and they led me to proboards.com. A lot of you might remember the website layitlow.com. Layitlow.com was a forum, had, last I remember, hundreds of thousands of registered members on there. And a lot of people were on there, and little by little I started seeing that there was people from the valley on layitlow.com. So when I started looking into building the website, the forum, pretty much based it off of Layitlow. It was kind of the same format. You had your welcome section, post your rides, upcoming shows and events, classifieds for sale, look wanted, different topics and categories. And little by little I started working on the website when I could. October 31st, 2006, I think that's when I launched the website. On my profile it says I'm a member since October 31st of 06. So that's when the website was launched. So I went on to layitlow.com. I started posting it, here and there. Hey, new forum for RGV, new forum for Rio Grande Valley. And little by little, people were going to the RGV Lowriders page and registering, becoming members. And it was exciting to see people come on, because at the time I was already going to car shows, but I didn't know a lot of people at the time. I had seen their faces, I could recognize faces, I just didn't know their names. I didn't know anybody yet. So the website started growing. Yayo, I believe, was one of the first people on the website. And then Danny came registered later on that night, I believe. Little by little, the website started growing, right? In the video that Danny made earlier this year, he says, I think I have it somewhere, I can put it up, I won't though, but he says that me, him, and Yayo got together and came up with the idea, and that we started working on it. That never happened. I would bet my life, that it never happened. I had never met Yayo. I might have met Yayo at a show before, but as far as us getting together to start RGV Lowriders, that never happened. I'm not sure why Danny said that, but we never got together. We never came up with the idea to create it. It was something that I had worked on by myself before I knew anybody, before I don't even think I had met Danny yet until 10 months after I launched the website, which is at the first RGV Lowriders picnic. Again, this is how RGV Lowriders first started. It was a website long before there was a Facebook page. And I'll get to the Facebook page, how that started in a little bit. So again, the RGV Lowriders, the very beginning, the true origins of RGV Lowriders was a website that I started, that I worked on my own. And once it was launched, that's when I started inviting people. And fortunately, over time, we started getting a lot of members. And we started growing. I started meeting a lot of people, putting faces to their names, names to faces. And that's how RGV Lowriders really started. So from the RGV Lowriders website, the forum, came the picnic, the Instagram, later on the Facebook, and a YouTube account for RGV Lowriders. And I'm gonna give you information on who started those and how did they become. The website, like I just said, the website started in October of 2006. Like I said, we started getting members. A lot of people were interacting. Hey, what about this? Let's do this. Maybe we can do this. Some people said, hey, let's have a dance. Stuff like that. There was a guy from Brownsville, and it was not Danny, it was not me, it was not Yayo. It was a guy that was on the website that brought up the idea of having a picnic like they did on Lay It Low. We can set a date, we can set a time and place, and we'll just show up. So we all liked the idea. Everybody was like, hey, I think we can do that. That's very possible. So yes, Danny was the one to get the permit, set the date and time and place, and that's how the picnic started. This is 10 months after the launch of RGVLowriders.com or the website. So yes, I've never taken credit for the picnic. I've always given 100% credit to him. I did ask him every year, if you need something, let me know. Monetarily, this and that, I can help out. He never asked for anything. Either way, the picnic, that's how it first started. The first one was in August of 2007. I still have pictures of every picnic up until now, from 2007 till now. That is how the picnic started. I do not take credit for it, apart from it being named RGV Lowriders annual picnic. I never put it together myself. I never did much because Danny never asked for my help. And but yes, Danny did put it together. He did start the picnic. It wasn't, thankfully to the member who brought up the idea. 17 years later, now we have the now we have the picnic. So the next thing is a Facebook page. There was a Facebook page, it's still around, now it's got a different name. The way the Facebook page started was in 2006, like I said, was the launch of the website. After a few years, it started slowing down because a lot of people were going to Facebook, right? So a lot of people are going to Facebook. They weren't on the website as much, slowed down. I myself didn't have Facebook. I didn't care for it. So I remember the day that I was walking into work and I got a text from Danny. And Danny asked, hey, maybe not word for word, but he pretty much asked if he could start a Facebook page for RGV Lowriders because a lot of people were more on Facebook. I agreed. I said, yeah, because I knew, he had the same mentality as I did for RGV Lowriders. Don't give it a bad name. Don't the name, the legacy it has. I want to keep it clean. So I agreed to let him start a Facebook page, and that's how the Facebook page started. I think it's important for people to know that I think a lot of people are under the impression that Danny started RGV Lowriders because they first learned of RGV Lowriders from Facebook, not knowing that it had already been around for 6 years prior to Facebook. A lot of people here in the Valley are into Facebook. It's cool, whatever. I kind of have it now. I started a new one, but anyways, as far as a Facebook page, yes, Danny started it with my permission, and now he's got his thing. He just changed names, whatever. But that is a true account of how his Facebook started. After that, in 2014, I was at a car show in Corpus Christi. Instagram was, I don't know if it was new, but it had just come around, and I figured, why not start an Instagram? We got the website, we've got the picnic, we've got the Facebook, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna start an Instagram for RGV Lowriders. In 2014, September of 2014, this September, next month will be 9 years that I've had the Instagram account. I am the one that runs the Instagram account. I've always enjoyed taking pictures. I've always enjoyed the video. So that's why I started the Instagram page, and I'm still running it. So right now the website it's inactive. I do check up on it every now and then, but it's nothing active. There's no activity going on. So I run the YouTube page, I run the Instagram, and I run the website. So Danny, yes, I do give him credit for the picnic. Who knows, maybe I'm kind of planning it. I don't want to get too ahead, but I'm kind of planning on continuing the RGV Lowriders picnic, probably the middle of next year sometime. So I keep sweating because it's freaking hot. But as of now, it's just right now I'm putting it all on paper and trying to figure out what I need, and hopefully these locations that I'm looking into will cooperate. If not, oh well. Like I said, this video is not to divide. You got RGV Lowriders, which has been around, so I just explained, since 2006. You got the Instagram. I've got a new Facebook account for RGV Lowriders. If you want to follow that and look it up. I got the YouTube channel, which I hope you guys subscribe to. I'm looking into continuing the tradition of the real picnic. Again, I shouldn't give my opinion, but yeah, I won't, I guess. But anyways, so I've got these the set of these 2-bar Luxor Lockina knockoffs. I'm gonna start trying to raffle a few things because I need to raise some money for the picnic, and I figure I can buy a few things. Actually, I got these already. I might get the 3-bar. I might be raffling a set of 72 spoke Luxors, all chrome, straight lace, and I might even get some engraved 2-bar knockoffs, and I'm gonna be raffling those off. I'll be putting all that information on Instagram, which is mostly where I'm at. But if you guys want, the information will be on there. It's not gonna be something that's gonna break your bank. You know, I'm just gonna try to resell them for a little bit more, make some money, make some profit to, you know, see if I can come up with funds and continue the RGV Lowriders picnic. So, you know, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys subscribe. You know, this video is not gonna be for everybody. Some people want to know the truth. Some don't care. Some don't know what's going on or what happened. But, you know, I hope I answered a lot of questions. And see you at the next car show, man. Thank you.